If you do even one of these things, you are a special woman and can live up to 100 years. This is no exaggeration. As we age, we often hear, "Well, what do you expect? You're not 40 anymore." Some people look away, some sigh with pity, and others suggest, "Just slow down and take it easy." But there are women who take a completely different path. They don't feel the need to prove anything. They simply live, with curiosity, with movement, with inner strength, quietly, yet very resiliently. You might be one of them, even if you don't realize it yet. If you woke up and curiously read something new, if you watered the flowers on your balcony, danced a bit to some music, or called a friend, that's already a step towards a long, fulfilling life. Many believe longevity is just luck, genetics, or access to good doctors, but it's much simpler and deeper than that. True longevity is born within, when you choose to be alive, curious, attentive to yourself, and at the same time open to the world. When you don't give up, don't isolate yourself, and don't narrow your day down to just medications and conversations about ailments. And if you see yourself in any of this, you're already on the right path. This journey is not for the solitary, but for the chosen ones. Women who swim against the tide, yet maintain their lightness. Next, you'll hear about 6 habits that not only extend life, but make it truly yours. Listen to the end and rate from 1 to 10 how helpful you found this video. First point, you seek out something new every day. The brain isn't just an organ. It's a sensitive instrument that, as we age, demands not rest, but stimulation. Not physical, but mental, emotional, and curious engagement. Women who continue to learn, read, watch, and reflect are protecting themselves better than any pill could as they form new neural connections every day, maintain mental clarity, and, most importantly, keep their zest for life. This isn't about studying or self-improvement just for the sake of it. It's about genuine curiosity that doesn't fade with age. Rather, it becomes purer, calmer, and more authentic. When you learn a new word, watch a documentary, or explore the settings on your phone to figure things out. You're not just keeping busy. You're nourishing your brain, sending it a message. I'm alive, I'm curious, and I'm here. This is not a trivial matter. It's a form of dementia prevention. It's a way to maintain memory, focus, and mood. And it's one of the key secrets of those women who live into their 90s, preserving their clarity, strength, and inner dignity. Let every day include at least a tiny bit of something new. A short article, a page from a book, a question you asked your grandchild, or something you typed into a search engine. The brain doesn't need much. It just needs to be engaged regularly, sincerely, and with genuine interest. Because interest isn't just about knowledge, it's about life. It's about being an active participant rather than a mere observer. And this is one of the key conditions for a long, vibrant, and meaningful old age. This is perhaps one of the most important indicators of longevity. Being active after 65 isn't just about hitting a step count or going to the gym. It's about feeling movement as a natural part of life, not as a challenge or an obligation. Women who live long lives rarely say, "I have to force myself," because they engage in activities not for the sake of metrics, but because it has become a habit, one that is enjoyable, warm, and alive. It could be a leisurely walk in the park, allowing yourself to pause, breathe, and take in your surroundings. It might be a simple morning stretch as you reach toward the sun, or a few bends in the kitchen while your porridge is cooking. It could be gardening, dancing to your favorite music, or even jumping for joy when you stumble upon an old photograph and burst into laughter. And that's movement too, because it's from the heart. The body after 70 is very sensitive. If you leave it alone, it becomes stiff. But if you move gently, without strain, and with joy, it starts to come alive, as if saying, "Thank you." Women who live a long life move every day, not on a schedule, not according to a workout plan, but as they live, with curiosity, with self-awareness, and with joy in knowing that their body can still do things, maybe not everything, but the most important part, without fear. Movement is not a task, it's a gift. If you allow yourself to experience the day not in stillness, but in a gentle rhythm where you and your body coexist, not as a problem area, but as a living space, then you're already doing a lot right. Women who live long and remain clear, warm, and vibrant do so not because they are free from diagnoses, but because they don't allow those diagnoses to become the focal point of their lives. They know when it's time to see a doctor, take their medication as prescribed, but they don't dwell on their blood pressure longer than it takes to tend to a garden. They don't complain for hours about their joints when there's a flower blooming nearby, and they don't measure their worth by a list of test results. Because obsessing over health is a subtle trap, all attention starts to revolve around pain, and a person stops noticing the vast space of life beyond the medicine cabinet. Immersion in symptoms leads to anxiety, tension, lowers immunity, and most importantly, steals joy. And joy, even if it's quiet and restrained, heals more powerfully than any new medication. If you tell yourself, "I'm in pain, but I'll still make tea, turn on some music, and treat myself," you're not denying reality. You're simply choosing not to be its prisoner. This isn't just positive thinking from self-help books. It's a mature, genuine strength, acknowledging pain without succumbing to it, being aware of illness without letting it define you, continuing to live no matter what. It's this inner peace, this ability to focus not on the illness but on life itself, that grants women longevity not only in body but also in spirit. One small yet significant rule helps them achieve this. Always leave something you love, something personal, in your day. This is what we will discuss next. There's a quiet secret to a long, fulfilling life. It's waking up in the morning not out of obligation, but because you have a reason to. Not for a grand goal, not for someone else, but simply to do something that brings you joy. To open a book, water a plant, finish a pattern, or jot down a thought in your notebook. It doesn't have to be a life's work, but rather a simple, warm activity where you're not obligated or in need, but just being yourself. Women who have hobbies or their own small businesses find it easier to cope with loneliness. They experience less anxiety and are more resilient when facing the changes that come with aging and emotional ups and downs. This is because they always have a place to return to, a quiet, cozy space within themselves where no one criticizes, demands, or judges. It can be anything, from simply tending to houseplants to embroidery, reading, journaling, or listening to favorite melodies. The key is that it's something personal, something that makes you feel, "I'm not disappearing, I'm continuing, in this activity, in these hands, in these movements." And let no one else notice this. Let no one praise or ask. If it fills you up inside, then it's more important than it seems. It's these quiet joys that become anchors, keeping the soul warm even when there's a storm outside. But a person is not just an inner world. They need something else, without which no stability can hold. There are things that cannot be replaced by books, television, or even a favorite hobby. This is genuine connection. A simple, human hello, a look that recognizes you, a brief conversation that leaves you feeling warmer. Women who maintain even one or two sincere connections with a friend, a neighbor, a loved one, tend to live longer and cope with difficulties more easily. Loneliness doesn't always come from being physically alone. It can also arise when there's no one with whom you can truly be yourself. When you hear a lot of, "How are you?" but not a single, "How are you really?" When you can speak, yet feel hesitant to do so because there's no one to share with, or the wrong audience. That's why genuine connections are so important, even if they're few. One friend to laugh with, one neighbor to exchange a few words, one person with whom you can talk, or simply share silence and know it's a moment of connection, not just quiet. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Sometimes one meaningful conversation a week can provide more strength than 10 obligatory meetups. A message from a grandchild, a short letter, a postcard, or just a warm voice on the phone can become a lifeline. A woman who has even a little bit of authentic communication remains engaged in life. Because the words that are spoken and heard are like air for the soul. And the more you allow yourself to be part of that flow, the stronger you feel. You are a part of it all. You matter, and you are connected to this world. And the last point, which is a sign of longevity. Every woman goes through periods in life when everything feels overwhelming, when the pain outweighs the strength, and understanding is less than desired. Yet there are extraordinary women who, despite these challenges, never lose one essential ability: to smile, even through tears. They laugh not because life is easy, but because it's their way of staying alive, warm, and human. Humor is not superficial lightness or a way to not feel. It is a mature inner wisdom, the ability to avoid unnecessary dramatization, to let go of grievances, and to embrace aging with dignity, sprinkled with a touch of self-irony. A woman who can look in the mirror and say, "Well, there are a few cracks, but you still shine," is not only capable of living a long life, but can also impart a sense of vitality to others that cannot be bought or faked. Such lightness is not naivety, but an internal choice. A smile in difficult times is not a weakness, but a strength. And the ability to laugh at our own grandma stories is not a rejection of seriousness, but a freedom to be ourselves without the burden. Laughter extends life, not just because it reduces stress and improves our hormonal balance, but because it brings us back to our true selves, not perfect, not young, but alive, warm, and soulful. And it is these women, those who, despite everything, have kept the spark, that live longer, shine brighter, and leave behind not a trace of fatigue, but a memory of lightness and inner radiance. If you've recognized yourself in even one of these signs, you are already different. You are not just an ordinary, unnoticed, just an older woman. You are someone who has chosen to live fully, despite age, pain, or loneliness. Someone who takes small steps every day toward self-discovery, with curiosity, movement, warmth, attention, and dignity. Longevity isn't about luck or just numbers. It's about making a choice. To smile when times are tough. To ask, why not? When you want to try something new. To call a friend, or get up from your chair when everything tells you, don't bother. If you're reading this text, you're already on this journey. It might not be perfect, It might not happen all at once, and it may not apply to every point. But you are alive, you feel, you seek, and you strive. That means you are heading towards a place where life continues, not fades away. Let someone chase after youth while you walk with your inner light. Let someone be 30, but you have experience, depth, and strength that cannot be taken away by time or wrinkles. And let the road be long. But the most important thing is that you remain on it. Alive, authentic. The one who has already proven it's possible to live for a long time. But to live with yourself, that's priceless.